or download our mobile app on
As we lay our bed, we go lie on top. ILERA EKO, la wale. ILERA EKO, no chewa logo. Let us work hand in hand. Lagos health is our wealth. ILERA EKO, la wale. ILERA EKO, no chewa logo. Let us work hand in hand. Lagos health is our way. Oh yeah, any day, from the north to the south, the east and the west. Let us work hand in hand. Lagos health is our way. Oh yeah, any day, let us work hand in hand. Lagos health is our well. ILERA EKO, la wale. ILERA EKO, no chewa logo. Let us work hand in hand. Lagos health is our wealth. Oh yeah, any day, let us work hand in hand. Lagos health is our wealth. ILERA EKO. ILERA EKO, la wale.
My name na Johnny, but you fit to call me Standard Johnny. Yes, so that na because I don register for the new ILERA EKO Standard Jara plan. Standard Jara na the advanced improvement level of the standard plan. So therefore, Standard Jara don add extra Jara benefits, telephone medicine care, every year test or screening, plus different mental health service. E never finish oh. People wey don already pay down for the Standard Jara fit carry waka enter any of the new Vibu centers throughout all the big area market for Lagos. You know wetin sweet me pass? Your age or any past condition no matter at all oh.
Oh yeah, begin receive more treatment for your health insurance with Standard Jara. For more tori, make you WhatsApp or call 0700 ILERA EKO 07004 537 2356. You fit also register for any Ibile divisional office or ILERA EKO kiosk wey dey near you. ILERA EKO, nobody go carry last.
ILERA EKO, no chewa logo.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. A pleasant morning to you right here in the city of Lagos. And whenever you hear that tune, you know it's time for that show that brings you very pertinent information that will, of course, help you access quality healthcare at very affordable cost. My name is Akan Usen, welcoming you to ILERA EKO Extra right here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Today, it promises to be a very educative, informative and enlightening edition of the show. We're talking about a topic that I definitely am sure you will learn so much from, and you will gain a lot of nuggets of information. So do me one favor, even as you head to your various destinations, or perhaps you're at the office or home or wherever you are, just give me your attention. Yes, and it definitely will be worth your while. One more time, I want to say you're welcome to ILERA EKO Extra right here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This show is powered by Lagos State Health Management Agency, LASHMA. All right, on the show today, we're placing our focus on the mandatory health insurance, and we have a guest in the studio with us who, of course, will be doing justice to this topic, and she has been here on the show before, yes, talking about something, close to this. And today we'll be expatiating, buttressing the topic, and of course, giving you insights that I'm sure perhaps you didn't have earlier. Would also love to hear from you. Would love your input. Would love your feedback. Would love your comments. Would love your suggestions. And perhaps if you're not clear on any aspect, would also love your questions. 080-991-20777 and 091-538-77127 are the numbers you can call. The first line 080-991-20777 also doubles as our WhatsApp line. So if WhatsApp is your medium of choice, it will be amazing to hear from you. And even as the program progresses, would also have traffic feeds. Yes, healthy servings of traffic feeds. All right, in the studio with us we have Mrs. Tosin Adeosun. She is Monitoring and Compliance Manager with the Lagos State Health Management Agency, LASHMA. You're welcome, Mrs. Adeosun.
Thank you, sir.
Great to have you with us. I hope traffic wasn't much of a bother coming in.
Not really.
Not
Just
really.
Few minutes entering into Latif Jakonde, I experienced a bit of traffic.
Around where exactly?
Coming into the streets,
Okay.
into Latif Jakonde.
Okay, yes, there seems to be some sort of event going on in the premises, yes, of course, and but I see that we have traffic managers there doing
Yes.
their bit to manage the traffic situation. So if you're heading in that direction, towards testing ground, coming all the way from maybe First Gate, thereabouts, just watch out for that spot of traffic. But I see traffic managers doing their bit to make sure things move as smoothly as possible. Yeah, today we're talking mandatory health insurance. So we definitely are not surprised that there's still people living in Lagos. From the statistics, given to us, it's always surprising, but we have people in Lagos who are not familiar with what insurance is, and particularly what health insurance is. So, Mrs. Adeosun, can you explain to us what? Let's start. What is insurance and what is health insurance? Let's put it that way.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Insurance talks about you making plans for unseen or unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
You already made a preparation for it. That is what we call insurance. So when you talk about health insurance, it is a scheme that allows you to pay a premium. And a premium can be so little because it's not something that you don't pay for accidents.
Yes.
So the premium is little, but you are expected to pay it whether the incident happens or not.
Yeah.
So that is health insurance. So when you pay that premium, you can have access to healthcare services in various hospitals or in the hospitals that you choose that is very close to your area. So that is health insurance.
And that's quite, it's quite important because nobody plans to fall sick, and when it happens, it's good to have a safety net of sorts. Okay, so going ahead, talking about the importance of mandatory health insurance, and we're talking what health insurance is. So, Governor Sanwo-Olu earlier this year signed an executive order, which of course makes health insurance mandatory for all residents in Lagos. So please give us a bit of a background. Can you tell us what was actually behind this decision by Mr. Governor?
Okay, specifically on the 16th of July 2024, an executive order was signed.
Okay.
All thanks to our amiable governor for signing these into law. Because anything that concerns health is very important, and we can't underestimate it. So our governor wants a healthy Lagos. the main reason behind this executive order. But before this time, being the LSHS law, that's
Okay.
Lagos State Health Scheme Law,
Okay.
which was enacted in the year 2015, and also the NHIA Act of 2022 that says it is mandatory for all residents of Nigeria to be enrolled on health insurance.
Okay, so meaning even before the federal level, Lagos was proactive. They already had a law.
Sure, you are very correct.
Okay.
So
okay.
that was in 2015, May
2015, okay.
2015 precisely.
Amazing.
And in 2022, this was also supported by the NHIA Act of
Okay.
2022
Okay.
during the era of the former president,
Yes.
Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah.
So, and all this is talking about health insurance. They want a healthy Lagos and a healthy Nigerian. So the reason why we have this health insurance. And our governor also keyed into this. This has been on ground before.
Yes.
But just to make it more important and for us to see that it is important for us to have a healthy community. You know, when you have a healthy community, you also have an healthy economy.
Yes.
So the reason why the governor signed it into law and by giving the executive order in July 2024 this year.
Talking about the executive order that was given, can you give us a bit of insight into the provisions as contained in the executive order?
Okay, we have about 10 highlights in
Okay,
the
10, okay.
executive order.
Okay.
But I am going to state the ones that I feel you need
Okay.
as a resident of Lagos State.
Yes.
So the first thing is that it is mandatory
Okay.
for all residents of Lagos State to be enrolled on the social health insurance scheme,
Okay.
which is called ILERA
ILERA
EKO,
EKO.
and it is being sold by our agency,
Okay.
LASHMA.
Yeah.
And also you can also obtain it from any NHIA accredited HMO that is resident in Lagos State.
Okay.
Another highlight is that all hospitals are to attend to any medical emergencies that comes to them. You know, when people fall sick, and you know, emergency is something that is life-threatening or something that is unexpected that has to do with health. So it is mandatory for all hospitals that is in Lagos
Yes.
to attend to any emergency cases that comes to them. I know that
When you say emergency, say apart from accidents, how about gunshot wounds and all that?
that is also an emergency because it is life-threatening.
Okay.
So any medical case that is life-threatening is an emergency.
Because there are instances where we see hospitals actually rejecting such cases.
So going forward with
Yes.
this executive order,
Yes.
they are not supposed to reject it. But some other thing may be the concern
Okay.
of the hospital. You know, when they give treatment, they also expect that they will get payment for whatever treatment that they give. The person can be vulnerable. The
Yes.
person may not be able to pay. So they should not worry about payment for that emergency service. They will definitely get their payments through LASHMA.
Through LASHMA. Okay. All right.
Another
okay. Yes.
another highlight.
Yes. Okay.
Another
Let's do
highlight
that. Another
is
highlight.
that,
That's the third one.
Yes, the
Okay.
third one. That all MDAs, those are ministries, departments, and agencies
Yeah.
in Lagos State, they should request for proof of health insurance. I mean, the social health insurance
Yeah.
from people seeking their services.
Okay.
So this means that before they can offer their services to the people coming to them, maybe they want to obtain permits for something from the government.
Interesting.
So these agencies,
So they have to.
they should request for proof of health insurance
Okay.
from people seeking their services.
services, okay.
Also, corporate organizations, they're supposed to register with LASHMA.
Okay.
And when they register, they will obtain what we call the corporate identification number,
Okay.
CIN. You know,
Yeah.
it's similar to like TIN.
Yes.
That is for tax.
Yes.
But this one is called CIN. So when they register for CIN, that we would also ensure that they register their employees on the social health insurance scheme.
Okay. So that's 4.
That's 4. I think I said that we have about 10.
Yes.
But I'm just saying the ones that is very important
To
for
us.
residents of Lagos State.
For residents of Lagos State. All right, so earlier, like I said, we'll just take a quick detour to, see what traffic is looking like on the roads at this time. I have this report from the control room talking about the, let's touch on this. Okay, this is from the control room from the Ekpe end, Lagos Lekki Ekpe Expressway actually, but starting from the Ajajubili Bridge end, Aja inwards in Bamade Soya and Ogombo to Ogidon, all good. Slow but moving traffic from Alasia to Lagos Business School, and this is due to some work ongoing there. Ogidon on route ShopRite, Crown Estate, Awuyaya, Lakwe, Eleko Junction, extending to the T Junction, and Ayetoro connecting T Junction on route Eleko Junction, School Gate, Abijo, Majek, ShopRite, and Ogidon down. Landway is in good shape. Landway to University View Estate is quite fast, and from there, as you connect Bamade and down Ajab underneath the bridge on the return stretch, it's good. Aja inwards Badore for those heading in that direction, and Thomas Estate, it's cool and calm. It's a slow one from LBS, that's Lagos Business School, to Alasia due to construction work I mentioned earlier. No impediments and no broken down vehicles, and the traffic managers stationed there doing their bit to make sure things move as smoothly as possible. Okay, and yes, I can tell you Latif Jakonde, around the Mobile end, from what I see, things are looking good, but of course, I told you about the earlier busy movement. Well, that's as you approach the Coca-Cola end, that's where you begin to experience that busy movement. From what I see, a few people are already, backtracking a bit, doing reversing, trying to look for alternative routes from what I see from our live camera feeds. And yes, the Agege Pen Cinema end, what's happening around that end, from what I see right here from our live camera feeds, it is looking good. Yes, morning influx beginning to recede. It is a better one at this time. For those coming in from the Charity end, from the Abulegba end, well, you will experience a better movement as against the earlier busy movement influx in the morning. Yeah, quite light at this time for those coming in from that direction. Would pan our cameras to look at other parts of town, but that's just a brief update to let you know what things are looking like. Cursory look. Of course, we have in the studio with us Mrs. Adeoshun, who has been shedding light on this very important topic of mandatory health insurance, and she's told us about the executive order, which of course was signed by Mr. Governor earlier this year, which makes health insurance mandatory for all Lagos residents. And she has also, giving us told us a bit of the provisions as contained in the executive order. She talks about the fact that it's now mandatory to be enrolled on ILERA EKO. All hospitals should or are mandated to attend to medical emergencies. She also talked about the fact that ministries, MDAs, yes, departments and agencies of government are to request for proof of health insurance whenever people come to seek for certain services from them. Yes, and also she mentioned that corporate organizations are also to register with LASHMA, and you'd get a certificate CIN,
Yes.
much like the TIN. Yeah, the tin. Okay, so that was just a bit of a roundup, so to say. Okay, moving ahead, could you please, talk about, now you mentioned that ILERA EKO is, of course, that's our own Lagos State Health Insurance Scheme. Okay, for those who you do not have a grasp of what this is all about, can you just, on a very cursory level, tell us what ILERA EKO is?
Okay. ILERA EKO is the social health insurance plan in Lagos. That is the name. Like I said earlier, that there was an act in 2022 by NHIA, and that states that all states in the federation must have the social health insurance scheme. So for Lagos State, the name of the social health insurance scheme is called ILERA EKO, and which means that the health of Lagos.
The healthy Lagos, yes.
So that is the meaning, and it has a lot of benefits. Do you want me to go into the benefits?
If
now?
possible, yes, let's do that.
So it has a lot of benefits, and which you even think that may not be things that you think that may not be covered are actually covered, because it has a wide range of benefits, starting from consultation in the doctor doctor's room,
Yes.
the prescribed drugs that are on our drug formulary, because you know there are a lot of things that you have on the drug formulary, which is about 10 to 15 pages. So we have a lot of drugs there, which I cannot start mentioning now. It has dental care. It's when you want to do scaling and polishing. It has optical care,
Okay.
but
For
to
the
a
eyes?
limit.
Okay.
Yes, the eye care, the optical care is for eye.
Okay.
The dental care is for your
The
teeth.
teeth,
You can
okay.
actually do scaling and polishing on the skin. You even be surprised that it's covered for annual medical screening, which you can do once in a year. You know, some people will say that they don't actually fall sick. Does it mean that when I am contributing to this pool, when I'm paying this premium, I will just pay and I will not have anything to benefit? So it is not only when you fall sick that you have access or you enjoy what ILERA EKO covers. So even when you are not sick, you can actually
come and
check
get-
your body to predetermine if there's anything that will hinder your health.
So it's like on a lighter note, because somebody called one day. I was saying that he didn't fall sick for the entire year. Can't he get a refund?
So because it's not possible that you get a refund, you can actually utilize the scheme
Yeah.
by checking your medical status.
Yeah.
Also, we have what we call the telemedicine.
Okay.
Telemedicine is a platform that we have. It is run by technology
Yes.
that you can talk to a doctor virtually. You don't have to necessarily go to the hospital before you can have access to telemedicine. You can actually download it on your phone.
From the comfort of wherever you
and
are.
anywhere you are, whether in the office or at home, you can actually consult with a doctor.
Okay.
Then the doctor that you consult with can actually prescribe drugs for you, which you can pick at a nearby community pharmacy, because we have a lot of community pharmacies, about 350 community pharmacies within Lagos State that we have signed onto our scheme.
Okay.
So when a doctor prescribes drug for you, or drugs that are not available
at the hospital.
your various hospitals,
Yeah.
you can actually pick them up from any nearby community pharmacy. You not be forced to go to any, but you can
Yeah.
actually pick a particular one, whether close to your office or close to your home, where you can pick your drugs. Also, it covers for antenatal and delivery services.
Yes.
So, and you can register at any point in time. Immediately you register, the following month you begin to have access to quality healthcare services.
The following month. Okay. So for those who really understand that, could you just give us a bit of insight? How does that work?
Okay, for example, if you register before the 25th
For the 25th.
of
Okay.
October,
Yes.
then you will begin to have access by 1st of November.
Okay. Can we just hold that thought as we take this call? Let's see if we can take this. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Yusuf.
This is Mr. Yusuf Olamilekon.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. Great to have you on the show.
I'm particularly interested in this topic.
Okay.
Yes. But my question is this. I want our resource person there
Yes.
to please explain if somebody, a Lagos resident, decides on his or her own that, probably the person has maybe other chemo is on before, or maybe he has his own GP already, that he doesn't need to get enrolled. So are there penalties? When we say something is mandatory, are there penalties? From the maybe government? That the person might incur. So that's my question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for this question. We
welcome.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay. I think you understood that. Okay. So any penalties? Any?
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf. Okay, the executive order came out this year, July.
Yes.
So we are using this period till the first quarter of next year to create public awareness.
Okay.
When I was stating the
So for now, there will be no hard hammer on anybody.
So when I was stating the highlights of
Yes.
the executive order, I was able to mention about 4 because I'm also looking at our time on the radio. So there is another part that is there in the highlights that says that people should not go against the law.
Okay.
You understand? So when you are not willing to enroll, it means you want to go against the provisions of the law, and there will always be consequences. But now what we are doing is that we are creating enough public awareness, and part of the reasons why we also go to radio stations, we do newspaper publications, and that is why we are on 96.1 FM, because we know that a lot of people also listen to this radio station. So it's also in the law, which I did not state earlier, is that it is mandatory that people enroll, and that when they don't enroll, there will be consequences. And also, it is also in the LSHS law that this social health insurance scheme is the primary one, is the basic one. So if you also choose to have another form of health insurance, you can also do that, but that will be as a supplementary or complementary health insurance scheme that you are buying for yourself. But the basic one,
meaning you can actually have another.
Yes, you can have another, but that should be secondary or complementary.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Yusuf, I'm sure you got that. So now this brings me to this question. Now, talking about emergency, so people who are not registered on ILERA EKO, what if an emergency occurs? What happens?
Like I said earlier, according to the executive order, so the governor has made it an order, and which every hospitals and every resident must also follow. So when people have emergency, life-threatening cases, hospitals should attend to them, and they should not also worry about getting paid for whatever services that they offer. But it is also in the provision, it is also as part of the highlights of the executive order, that after treating emergency cases and when the person is stabilized, they can then request for proof of social health insurance from the person. So when the person is stabilized, then the person can then buy health insurance.
So they have to save the life first.
You should save life first. Yes, you are very correct. Saving life first.
Okay, good. We have an incident report, a quick one from the Iba Auto Ijaniki axis. A broken down Toyota Camry shaft problem at Yanoba flyover in Motokoko Michael. But the good news is that the mechanic is already on the ground trying his best to make sure it fixes the fault, and it's not really affecting traffic. But as you head in that direction, if you're headed in that direction, you have nothing to worry about. Just watch out for that, okay? And as regards the earlier reported breaking down compactor truck, the PSV truck at Oshodi, by Bola, that was having rare damage and was affecting free flow of traffic. Well, I can tell it is now off the road, has been moved off the road. So if you're headed in that direction, do not worry, you have nothing to worry about. Okay, so moving ahead now, we have, established the fact that even in the case of emergencies, people who are even not registered can or should be attended to, and it's covered under the law. Now, okay, so how will LASHMA ensure that residents key into ILERA EKO now that it is mandatory for everyone to be under this?
So now that it is mandatory for all residents to be on the scheme, so the primary responsibility, and as that is also part of what is in the LSHS law. The primary responsibility of LASHMA is to create public awareness. So letting people know about the mandatory position of the scheme, so that it is mandatory for all residents to come up on the scheme. So the primary responsibility of LASHMA, like I said, is creating public awareness. So what we do is that we come to stations like this. So go about like we have town criers that go into various communities. There are some outreach areas. So maybe like riverine areas and some other places in Lagos State that they are hard to reach. So we have town criers that also goes to those places, and we also go to the grassroots. We go to the grassroots to talk about health insurance. Also, we have a kiosk around Lagos State. You would have observed that we also have virtual booths around some markets. Like, for example, if you go to Sabo Market, in Ikorodu.
Yes.
And there's also Sabo Market in Yaba. We have all these virtual booths in various locations. In Agboyi, we have the virtual booths there that people can actually walk into. They check themselves, and they also speak to a doctor in the kiosk. They talk virtually to a doctor in the kiosk.
Yes.
So these are means that we are exploring to get the message across to the to residents of Lagos State. There will be consequences when for people that are not willing to abide, but we don't think that is the most important thing.
Yes.
The most important thing is for people to key into the mission and see the benefits for them. That is why we are focusing more on public awareness.
Amazing. Okay, so taking you back a bit, you mentioned the fact that someone can actually be on ILERA EKO and still have an additional be on an additional health insurance cover, meaning we have others. So can you just take us through, are there other components of health insurance, or are there other parts that we perhaps do not know about, and just take us through them so we would have an understanding of this?
Okay, I said that the provision of the law says that social health insurance scheme, which is ILERA EKO, is compulsory and is the basic.
Yes.
So if you wish to have another form of health insurance, maybe from private health insurance, that is complementary or supplementary. Okay. For reasons best known to some other people, they would want, maybe they want a particular hospital that is not on our network, which they want to explore their services, so they can actually get it from a private HMO. But the ILERA EKO is the basic, which they must have. We are also in Lashma. What we are also doing is to expand our network. We have over 500 hospitals on our network. Yes, over 500, including the primary healthcare centers. We have all the general hospitals on our network. We also have a lot of private hospitals. We have over 300 private hospitals on our network. But some people still think that they want some other hospitals which may not be on our network.
And that's where the private
that is why HMOs. The private HMOs are there. And all these private HMOs too, they are also registering with us, because it is also compulsory for all HMOs that operates within the state to register with the agency, so for us to monitor them.
So Lashma also plays a dual role. They're also like a regulator, sort of.
Yes.
Okay.
In the insurance space, when you talk about the insurance space, most people or most organizations, they run it for profit making. Yes. But this agency, Lashma, we are not running it for profit's sake. So we are running it for the benefits of the of Lagosians. Like, for example, you have some people that are vulnerable. Some people sleep in the slum, and some people do not even have they don't have the premium. They don't have the money to pay.
Yeah.
So what we do is that there's a particular amount of money which has been set aside for the management of vulnerable people in the society, and this has been made a first line charge. In Lagos State, there is a percentage of the consolidated revenue fund that comes to the agency for the management of vulnerable groups within the society.
But who counts as vulnerable? Who falls within that category?
Okay, vulnerable members are some people living in the states that they don't have a shelter.
Yes.
Maybe they are finding it very difficult for them to feed. They are finding it difficult to give their children good or quality education.
Yes.
So we should not look down on them. We have these people under we have them covered under the social health plan in Lagos State. Health plan in Lagos State. So what we also do for them is not just about caring for their health alone. What we also do is we also empower them. In the first year that they are with us, we will be the ones to pay for their premium and also ensure that they have access to quality healthcare. In addition to that, we also train them. There are some of them we group them if based on their area of interest. If they are interested in catering work, in dry cleaning work, and some other things that they can actually do with their hands, or maybe with a minimum capital. We try as much as possible to train them and to also set them up so that subsequently, maybe in the following year or like 2 years after they have been on the scheme, they will be able to pay their premium by themselves, and they will also have a better life.
Amazing. All right, it's been an amazing discourse. But I'm wondering now, Lashma being playing this dual role as both an HMO, so to say, and a regulator, how does the agency balance these two responsibilities?
So we have like, for example, let me explain to you so that you can understand better.
Yes.
We have 3 arms in the agency.
Okay.
The first arm, we call it ILERA EKO. The second arm is called the regulatory arm.
Okay.
So we call it regulations. And the third arm is called EKOSHA.
Okay.
The full meaning of EKOSHA is EKO. You know, EKO is Lagos.
Yes.
SHA, the SHA.
Yes.
Means Eco Social Health Alliance. So the first one, which is the ILERA EKO arm,
yes,
it is the operational aspects of the agency.
Yes.
So the operational aspect of the agency has medical doctors, they have network managers, they have the enrollment part of it, which ensures that they enroll people and they have access to quality healthcare services.
Okay.
So the regulatory arm, which I came from, is the arm that is responsible for driving compliance to make sure that people align with the provisions of the law. Okay. And the third arm, which is the EKOSHA, Eco Social Health Alliance, is the one that is in charge of the vulnerable members of the society that I spoke about earlier.
Okay, we have a question on WhatsApp. This just came in. Fred from Apapa says, good morning, Ma. Please, I want to know if someone that is on ILERA EKO can make use of it outside Lagos, Ma. Okay, I think that's answer is straightforward.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Let me answer the question. Okay, so if you are on ILERA EKO, I told you that it is a social health insurance scheme for Lagosians.
Yes.
So if you are outside Lagos, ordinarily it is not supposed to be covered.
Yes.
But as part of us evolving and trying to make life better for Lagosians,
yes, we
have also gone into partnership with the communities or the states that are sharing boundaries with Lagos State. Like, for example, there's Oisha, or your state, whatever.
Yes.
Ogun State too, they also have their health insurance. They call that Okshia. Okay. So we have gone into partnership with these states to ensure that even if our residents of Lagos State, go to their own states and they need access to care,
they still have some cover.
Yes, they are covered, especially when it has to do with emergency. They are covered, and they should treat them. The bills will be forwarded to us, which we will pay. The fear of anybody rendering service is to know how they will get payment for their services. So we have covered them in that aspect.
All right. Wow. It's been quite okay. He says, okay, Ma, thanks. Okay. Quite an eye-opening experience today. Yes, I've really learned a lot. But before I let you go, Mrs. Adeosun, please, what advice would you give to Lagos residents regarding ILERA EKO health insurance, which, of course, we've now been told it's now mandatory? Do give us that advice.
So the advice I have for Lagosians is to ensure that they enroll on this social health insurance plan, which is called ILERA EKO. The minimum package that we have is 15,000 naira per individual. So for a family of 4, it is 55,000 naira, and for a family of 6, it is 85,000 naira. The first thing, based on my advice, the first thing is that they should see it from the angle of benefits.
Okay.
It has a wide range of coverage,
yes, and
they should also key into that. For example, if you go to any hospital on emergency level and you don't have any form of health insurance, they will bill you. They will just say, okay, before we can attend to you at all, please put down 200,000 naira. At that particular point in time, maybe it is the particular savings that you have been putting together for over a year that we have to put down at that occasion, because you are not prepared for such incidents. But if you already have it, just 15,000 naira at the beginning of the year, you just left it there, and you can also have an annual medical screening. You can be able to have access to any hospital that you choose. Even if you don't choose that hospital and you are referred there will be no request for any fund before they can attend to you. That gives you peace of mind. It gives you comfort that at any point in time, if anything medical emergency comes up, you are covered. And apart from that, you don't have to fall sick before you can enjoy the scheme.
Okay, we have
actually have
screening,
medical screening done.
Even if you don't fall sick. Yes, Mr. Ojuku sent a con register for ILERA EKO without making the premium payment yet.
Yes, you can actually register without paying the premium yet. But that also means that you cannot have access to it. But you will have when you register, you will have your policy number, but you cannot go to the hospital with it, because what we do, we run it the way we run it, we send names of people that are enrolled in particular hospitals to their various hospitals at the beginning of every month.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeosun. It's been an amazing time on the show. We have final few seconds before the end of the program. Just tell us, are there any numbers we can reach out to if we need more information?
Yes, there are other numbers that you can call. 0700 ILERA 0700 ILERA EKO.
Okay.
So the number is 07
Yes.
00
Yes.
543 72356. You want me to repeat the number?
Yes, please do.
0700 4537 2356.
All right. Okay.
So we also have Ask Lashma.
Yes.
That is 0800
yes.
27
Yes.
55 27462. So those are the two numbers that you can call.
Thank you, Mrs. Adeosun, for sharing your expertise and shedding light on the mandatory Lagos State social health insurance. You're in for your time. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of ILERA EKO. Remember, health insurance is not just a necessity, but a right. Don't wait until it's too late. Get covered and ensure your loved ones are too. A big thank you to Ms. Adein Kagbemgbade, PAO Lashma, Public Affairs Officer Lashma. Big shout out to Halima right here in the studio with us, coming back from a long and very restful leave. Yes, glowing, by the way. Yes, and to you out there, we appreciate you. Join us next time for more informative discussions on ILERA EKO Extra. Until then, stay healthy, stay informed, and stay